Oh, here comes the rest of the Go team.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing, if you want to sit down on these, you're more than welcome to. Just while we're here, please do not stand on them. It is a memorial, and you should try to treat it as such. Also, if you smoke, that's fine. Just don't smoke as you're actually walking through the memorial itself. So you just avoid doing some of these things. That would be lovely. Now, this is the very controversial Holocaust Memorial. I'm sure you can figure out some of the controversies surrounding it. The first and most obvious one is, of course, the design. You may look at this and say to yourself, what the hell is this? What is this meant to be? What do these stones represent? What exactly is going on here? And most importantly, how in any way does this reflect upon the Holocaust? Now, I can tell you that the architect of this memorial is a man by the name of Peter Eisenman. Peter Eisenman is an American-born Jewish architect who won a contest to produce this memorial here in Berlin. This memorial was not completed until the year 2005. Today it consists of 2,711 of these stone blocks, although that number is not significant. Now, when Peter Eisenman has been asked about what this is, what this design is meant to represent, what he was trying to make people feel and understand with this memorial, when he's been asked such questions, he has been deliberately and extremely vague. To this date, he has not given any sort of description about what this is intended to be or what he wants people to feel and understand with this memorial. Now, he has purposely done this. He may be a Jewish man, but at the same time, he wants this memorial to be abstract. He wants it to be interactive, something that's open-ended, something that you must come to personally, walk through, touch, see, feel firsthand, and then you can decide what you think this is, what you interpret it as, and most importantly, what the Holocaust means to you today. So when you are discussing this memorial, talking maybe about it with your friends, there is no right or wrong answer. Whatever you have concluded this to be, whether it's tombstones, soldiers marching off to battle, a bar chart of persecution, whatever you've decided that it is, that in a way can be seen as the correct answer. Now, the other controversy surrounding this memorial is the name. The official name of this memorial is not the Holocaust Memorial. Official name of this memorial is the Memorial to the Murdered Jews of Europe. Holocaust in total consists of around 10 million people being murdered by the Nazis. 6 million of that 10 million were the Jewish victims, and this memorial today in Berlin is dedicated to those 6 million people. In Berlin's building of memorials for the Holocaust victims, they have made memorials for each individual group that was persecuted by the Nazis. This, of course, being for the Jewish people. Across the street, you see a stone block sticking out of the ground. That is to the homosexual victims of the Holocaust, also persecuted by the Nazis. And over down by the Reichstag, they are currently in the process of making a memorial to the Roma Sinti people, who were also, around 2 million of them were also murdered by the Nazis during the time of the Holocaust. So do keep that in mind. You're welcome to go visit those other ones. The main one we want to focus on today is this one right here. And for the actual tour, I will refer to it as the Holocaust Memorial to try to encompass all 10 million of those people, since we can't make a stop to each and every memorial. Now, the other controversy surrounding this memorial is the location. Location of a memorial, especially a Holocaust one, can be a very important factor. Now, one may think that this memorial right here was placed on this particular plot of land because maybe during World War II, this was a Holocaust site. Maybe this used to be a concentration camp. Maybe this is a mass grave, a mass murder. Maybe something significantly attached to the Holocaust happened on this plot of land, and that is why you find the memorial here today. Research has shown that that is not the case. What this plot of land used to be during the Second World War was a massive open grassland. Just wilderness right here in the middle of the city of Berlin. There's actually no Holocaust attachment to be found on this particular area. With that being said, Germany had thought it through a little bit and said, you know what, we're going to invest a lot of time and a lot of money in remembering those victims of the Holocaust. We would rather invest that money into somewhere where the Holocaust actually took place, where it actually happened, where these people had their lives taken from them. So what Germany was going to do, instead of building a memorial, is they were going to scrap this idea and instead turn this site into a bus depot. A site in which buses would pick people up for free and then take them out to an actual Holocaust location. That location would have been the Sachsenhausen concentration camp located just north of Berlin. People could come here, they could get on those buses, they could go out to Sachsenhausen, they could see what an actual concentration camp looks like, what the furnaces look like, what a gas chamber looks like. They can see where these 6 to 10 million people actually had their lives taken from them. Now, Germany thought that through, so that is a very good idea. Going to a camp is something that every single person should do at least once in their life. This will now allow them the opportunity to do such, but at the same time, there is one major flaw with that bus service out to Sachsenhausen. The major flaw lies in the fact that it is voluntary, meaning the people who would come here, get on those buses and go out to the concentration camp, those people have already made a very important decision. They have chosen to remember the Holocaust. They have decided that yes, it did happen. Yes, it is something that we now and forever need to remember. So they'll come here, they'll get on the buses, they'll go and visit Sachsenhausen. It's not a problem. Since it is voluntary, though, these are very, very interesting group of people out. People who to this day deny the existence of the Holocaust. So it never actually happened. Never actually occurred. That 6 to 10 million death toll, oh, that's all Jewish propaganda to gain some sort of sympathy over the next few years. There are presidents of some modern-day nations who have publicly denied the existence of the Holocaust. There are people in the United States who will come to your house, passing out pamphlets and flyers, stating that the Holocaust was no act of murder by the Nazis. Oh no. What killed those 6 to 10 million people was a disease known as typhoid. Typhoid is what wiped all of those people out. With this being said and understood, that is when Germany decided that that bus service, although a very good idea, is not the best idea. With it being voluntary, it presents some very, very interesting problems. That is when they gave up on the bus service and came back to this abstract and intriguing design done by Peter Eisman and placed it right here on this particular plot of land. Now this plot of land may not be a Holocaust site, but it's a very important location because it's right in the middle of the city. Over that way there's a building with a DB on it. That is Potsdamer Platz, one of the main business districts of Berlin. Over that way is the Brandenburg Gate, very important tourist site. And most important of all, further down that way is of course the Reichstag. Meaning all businessmen, all tourists, and all politicians who come to this city on their everyday travels, every single day, they're going to pass this memorial and they're going to see it. And every day they're going to be reminded about what has happened in the past. That at one point in history, 6 million Jewish people had their lives taken from them for absolutely no reason. I personally think this memorial is absolutely brilliant. I think it's one of the best things Berlin and Germany could have done because no one would have ever anticipated such a design. With it being so abstract, so intriguing, so open-minded, it does sort of captivate people, draws people in even as they simply walk by. They maybe want to take a walk through it. They start to wonder about it, and as they do, in a way, they begin thinking about the Holocaust. Now, this is an interactive memorial. It's not something you'll fully grasp just by hanging out on the outside. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take a walk through it. As you do, be cautious. Sometimes people are running around inside of this memorial. There are also staircases to be mindful of. Those staircases lead to an information center that is located below the actual memorial. That information center is highly, highly recommended, especially if you want to know more about the Holocaust. If you are going to visit it, it is free of charge. It's in German and in English. It's also open every day of the week except for Monday from 10 o'clock in the morning until 7 p.m. at night. One other thing is if you are going to visit it, do be prepared. It is not something to walk into lightly. It has 6 personal accounts of people actually victims of the Holocaust. A mother, a father, a young child. It has their stories, their feelings, their emotions, what it's like to have your family taken from you not knowing if you will ever see them again. Very well done exhibit, but if you are going to see it, do prepare yourselves before you go inside. Now we'll take a walk through, we'll meet directly on the other side, and then we'll continue on with the rest of the tour. One would think that at some point some neo-Nazi is going to come here and try to deface this memorial. Germany thought about that ahead of time, and they sealed all of these blocks with a special sealant. Nothing will stick to these. No graffiti, nothing. It will just run right down the side. Even rainwater just comes and runs right down the side of it. So there's a lot of controversy surrounding this memorial. This was a very large controversy because the company that was providing the sealant for these stone blocks, somebody did some research and found out that that company was a subsidiary of the same company that was providing Zyklon B to the Nazis for the gas chambers during World War II. Big ordeal. A lot of people upset, said, you know what, we can't, the last thing we want is any sort of Nazi attachment to the Holocaust Memorial. They were going to try to scrap this entire design, just get rid of the whole thing, but a lot of time and money had been invested in this. The company that was providing the sealant decided to give it to the memorial for free. They sealed each and every one of these blocks for absolutely nothing. On top of that, if you really think about German history, you think about businesses. Anyone who has had a business in Germany since 1933 and on, or during World War II, any business, no matter what it was, during World War II, in one way or another, they were assisting the Nazi cause. Whether it's making clothing, whether it's making food, whether it's making metal, pretty much every business who has been around before 1930, in a way during World War II, was helping the Nazis. And unfortunately, that is just something that the German people have in some cases, have had a hard time coping with. And you must think about that. So you can't necessarily blame that company about the sealant, because even companies such as BMW, things like that, were also, in a way, assisting the Nazis. Just one of the unfortunate things. I just wanted to point that out about the blocks, since you'll notice that there is no graffiti on them. Now this is the way that Berlin and Germany have chosen to remember these 6 million Jewish Holocaust victims. What we're going to do next is we're going to go over that way towards the departments and see how Germany has chosen to remember the main perpetrator of the Holocaust. Let's go that way and see what we got.